Well, because go ask the guy that is having his wages suppressed or is not employed as a result of having people who are breaking the law here breaking the law, here taking their job. Now, free markets, I'm telling you right now, that you know, we can go back to a great discussion about the degree to which you're talking when you believe in the free movement of goods, services, and people. And that's a whole another issue that, you know, goods, services, sure. People, hey, because there was a time when there was not that kind of mobility in the labor market, and people couldn't move from one place to another for that purpose. You know, you did not have this kind of dilemma, I suppose, in any discussion about economic theory, and especially free market economics. You could have free movement of goods and services. But when you actually have a system that allows for that same movement of people for those jobs, then you cannot possibly, at least I don't think, that you can have a system that allows for the kind of thing that we have accomplished in this country, the kind of personal benefits that have come to us as a result of the kind of economic benefits we have achieved through the labor markets that exist. You know, is it okay? Let me ask you this. Put it this way: should we simply ignore? What about what would happen, do you think? And is it okay with you to have a borderless society and let that kind of third world economic environment enter into this environment, enter into this economic environment? Is that okay? Would you want to put bring a billion people into the country?
It's a fair question that you ask if you know we should have a borderless society. And I think that you can have a free market, conservative principle view and say we should have border checks for security reasons, border checks to make sure government expenditures are kept down. But the difference here is, and this is a very important point, Tom, is that you've advocated legal immigration restrictions, not just illegal immigration, but legal immigration as well as eliminating that for 3 years to keep wage suppression jobs.
No. Now there you're wrong.
January 30th, 2010, World Ed Daily.
You are wrong about the reason. You are not wrong about my advocacy for that position. The advocacy for a restriction on legal immigration had nothing to do with labor markets. Has everything to do with culture, with our ability to actually survive. Western civilization is at stake. We are fighting a civilizational war. And I'm telling you that when we there is a need, I believe, a need to defend Western civilization. And so we can do all the immigration we want as long as we are bringing people who actually want to be Americans, who want to separate themselves from the culture. There's a guy in Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona. I will never forget this as long as I live. Now, I'm sorry, I'm going to take a minute or two with this story, but it was just the most amazing thing to me. Well, actually, two. When I was during the presidential campaign, I was getting off the plane and. Well, I attended a debate that I know I won. Absolutely, hands down, no two ways about it. Unequivocal. I won that presidential debate. It was in Detroit, Michigan. It was in front of the NAACP. And I know I won it. And the reason I know is because they're the only Republican that showed up. And 9 podiums out there, and you know, I got out there and I stood there and I said, well, you know, we'll wait a few more minutes, maybe these other guys will show up. But they never did, and of course we knew they would. And I got a standing ovation, but mostly just because I showed up. Okay? But when I got off the plane there, they had sent a guy in a limo, a black gentleman, in this limo, pick me up. There's a sign, Tancredo. I got off the plane, I had jeans, a hat, you know, I guess I have to have a new critic. What's his name at the Denver Post? That goofball. He writes. Litwin. Yeah, he doesn't like the way I dress, so he complains about shoes and things. Anyway, so I got off the plane and I was on jeans and I had a cap. And this guy says to me, "Tancredo." I said, "Yeah." And we get in the car and we're driving away. And he was speaking very precise English, very precise. And I could tell that he was, of course, learning the language. And he says to me, why are you here? And I said, I'm here because I have I'm going to speak to the NAACP. And he said, why? And I said, because they asked me. And he said, why? And I said, because I'm running for president of the United States. And he goes, nah. No, you're not. I said, yeah, no, I really am, honestly. And I started handing him, I said, my card, look at my card here, I'm a congressman, you know. And he goes, Congress, he says. And he pulls up this bunch of papers he's got next to him, and he goes, 435 members of the House, 100, and he goes through this whole thing about, because he's learning to become an American. And I said to him, look, you guys, you know what? That's wonderful. That is wonderful. Because that's exactly the kind of immigrant that I believe we should have. Somebody who wants to be an American, learning the language, wants to become part of the American society. Something similar happened to me in Phoenix. Same kind of thing. So I'm just saying that that's my greatest concern about legal immigration. Okay? It isn't so much... Now, illegal immigration absolutely depresses wage rates. Absolutely. Absolutely takes jobs from American citizens. I think unfairly. So, yeah, there's an economic issue out there, but the whole issue of legal immigration is based on something else entirely.
Final question.
Tom, to change the subject, you started your talking about taking an oath. When you first ran for Congress, you talked about a citizen legislature, and you took a pledge that you would only serve 3 terms.
Yeah.
Why should we believe anything you say when you don't keep your word?
Well, don't believe a word. Of course, Scott McGinnis you should believe, because, of course,
Scott McGinnis is here. If he were here on the question,
I'm just talking to you that he's not. I'm not the only one. But I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. You do exactly what you think you should do based on all of the things I have done in my life. All of the votes I have taken, all the positions I have taken, all of the statements I have made, the millions of words that I have either said or written. You make a decision on that, and I will tell you, I'm happy with you doing that. If you want to pull out any particular thing and argue with me, go ahead. I sent a letter to every single constituent at the point in time that I chose, that it became apparent to me that the only thing, that the immigration issue had grown to, this enormous thing, that I was the only member of Congress who was actually pursuing it, and I gave back every dime to every single person who gave me money based on that particular promise. And I did it, by the way, 2 years before the end of my 3rd term. So I did what I could to mitigate. I know what it was, certainly a change, and I understand it entirely. It was a reversal of my position. And you know what? If that's what's going to pull your chain, anybody, I can't change it. I can't help it. Anyway, thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. What? You want? I don't know. It's up to you. More? Not yet.
We've already gone to 30 minutes. So you can stay in.
Anyway, thank you all very much for giving me the time.
Thank you all for coming, and please return to the festivities. Thanks.